Hello everyone, my name is Lola Rose. Hello everyone. Hey everyone, my name is Lola Rose and welcome to Lola's Rosebuds, a community where we cultivate love and light through makeup, magic, and mindfulness. Namaste. Today, I'm going to show you how to achieve this super trendy summer UV neon liner look that is typically done using water-activated cake liners. However, today, I'm going to show you how to make it water-resistant using Lit Cosmetics glitter, pigments, and glitter base. Alright, so moving forward, at the beginning of each tutorial, I am going to be ranking the video with a very simple 3-tiered system to let you know exactly what we're in for. Those tiers are going to consist of beginner, advanced, and pro level applications. With each one of those level increases, we're going to introduce more products, tools, brushes, and of course, more advanced application techniques. All that being said, since we're just starting to get to know each other, today's tutorial is going to be geared more so in a direction at a beginner level pace. Okay, so before we begin, let me just clear the air and preface by saying that I'm not trying to shade any of the current water-activated cake liners that are out there. In fact, I love most of them and still continue to use them up until, today even, and I will continue to use them in the future. However, because they are water-activated, that does unfortunately mean that there is a tragic flaw. They are not water-resistant, smudge-proof, oily lid-proof, and certainly not sweat-proof, and we are in the peak of summer right now. So the purpose of today's tutorial is just to show you an alternative method to work around that tragic flaw. For those of you who have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, allow me to demonstrate. The top 2 lines of the 4 are both water-activated cake liners from 2 completely separate brands. The bottom 2 lines of the 4 were done using the method that I'm going to be showing you today. Enough said, right? Alrighty, so before we begin the actual application, I'm going to introduce you to the products that we're going to be featuring for today's look, as well as show you the mixing method. So first up is the brand new synthetic flat liner brush, co-developed with Delium Tools and Lit Cosmetics, and we're calling this the Duo brush because with its flat paddle, you can apply, pack, swipe your product on, and then it has a super fine, thin, tapered end. When used on its side, can be used to apply some liner and do detail work. Pretty cool. I'm obsessed with it. I love it because it's synthetic. Also, the bristles are going to really hold up well to any sort of adhesive, mixing agents, things like that. You do want to make sure, especially when you're using water resistant, like the one that we're going to be using today, to clean your brush right away. If you do take care of it, otherwise you're going to be all set. Now for the magic potion itself, I'm obsessed. You guys, this is super magic. This is Lit Cosmetics Clearly Liquid Water Resistant Glitter Base. This is going to be the additive that we're using in conjunction with our pure pigment today. We're going to be using Kabang to mix up and give us the paint-like consistency that we're going to be looking for to achieve this UV neon liner. Now, a couple of things with this guy, because it is water resistant, like I said before, you do want to make sure that you are cleaning your brushes right away after each use. In fact, I really like to clean my brush in between eyes just to be safe. Always keep your favorite brush cleanser handy. Today I'm using MAC Cosmetics. I also really love Cinema Secrets. It's just not in yet. Okay, so let's get started. Now, I'm a little OCD and I really like working out of ramekins and mixing palettes. But for this look specifically, I really recommend that we are going to be using a different vessel because it's really important to see the consistency of the actual product before we apply it. It's really going to help you out. For today with the pigment itself, we're just going to be using about 1/8 of a teaspoon, basically the sharp end of a knife, spatula, or I find even the tip of your tweezers is totally sufficient. So we're just gonna dip right into the pure pigment itself. This is one of the basic neons, so this is not an electric, so that means that it's going to be matte, just a tiny bit there, and then 1 to 2 drops max of the clearly liquid solution. I got 2 drops in there. And then we're just going to close that cap to make sure it doesn't dry out, set it aside, and just mix. basically until you're getting an acrylic paint-like consistency. For those of you who don't really know how to like what that consistency looks like, basically you want it to be able to stick onto your brush or spatula without any sort of drippage. And that's basically what we want it to look like there. So let's clean off our spatula. Now, this solution does dry quick, so you want to hold off on mixing until right before you're about to apply. So now I'm going to show you how to start the eye. Okay, so because I do want this to be more of a beginner tutorial, I'm going to limit the number of brushes that I'm going to be using for today's look, and I want to introduce you to those now. All right, here they go. So first off the bat is going to be the Morphe 425. Let's see here. There you go. A nice flat paddle. This is going to be what I use to apply my eyeshadow base, which for today is going to be the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow base. After that, I'm going to be using the Delium HD 788 Duo Fiber. This is actually going to be used to kind of buff out and blend that eyeshadow base. I also usually set it with a tiny bit of powder first. This is going to be my first time using this brush actually, so I'm really excited about it. We'll see how it goes. After that, I'm going to be using the Delium Studio Series 776 blender. I have like so many of these. One can never have too many blending brushes. It's one of my favorites. It's actually in my giveaway right now on Twitter if you're watching this before August 12th of 2020. Okay. Next up is going to be another Delium Studio Series 780. It's a pencil brush. This is going to be what I'm using to apply my color to the inner corner of the eye. And last is going to be, of course, the Lit Cosmetics Flat Liner Duo brush that I've already introduced you to. All right, so we have our brushes. We know what's going on there. I'm going to set them here for now. And to start off, again, because we are doing a beginner tutorial, I'm going to use the handy dandy Scotch tape for today's look. Obviously, if you are more of an advanced artist, you can go ahead and just freehand it, but I really wanted to make this as simple as possible for you all. So this is a very common practice now. I know it was like taboo in the very beginning, but it is what it is. So we're going to go ahead and apply our Scotch tape to our face. When I am going to be doing this, it's really only if I'm going to really need to rush an eye, because I do like having the ability to freehand. Just for me, I want to make sure that everything is nice and balanced and I can make adjustments as I see fit. You guys will learn that I come from that school of doing your eyes first and then finishing up with complexion, so you're going to see that a lot from me, which is going to be what I'm doing today. Because of that, with a freshly cleansed face, I'm going to be going on with the tape first and not applying any moisturizer or primers or anything like that, just because they can really impact the tackiness of the tape itself, and it's not gonna want to stick to your face if you have a bunch of primer and moisturizer on. I'm just gonna go from the outer corner to just underneath the bottom tail of the brow. Okay, so I'm checking things out and they look pretty even as far as the tape goes in relation to the tails of my brows. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Again, I'm using that Morphe M425 and the Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow base, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply that all over the lid. I do like going a little bit farther into the inner corner onto my nose because I'm going to end up blending that out a little bit later with my foundation itself. So if I get in there, you can kind of see where I'm going with that. You don't have to be super meticulous right now. Just going to spread that on out. I'm going to get it really good over on the lids, of course. You definitely don't want to have too much product on because it almost does exactly what you don't want it to do, which is crease later on. I do have a tendency to have oilier lids. So like I mentioned when I was showing you the brushes, I am going to be setting this with the Kimchi Chic Puff Puff Pass translucent powder. You don't have to do that. It's not like a product recommendation or anything like that, but I like to do it just to be safe. So I'm going to be using the new Delium HD brush that I told you about just to kind of buff everything out. Now the same kind of application applies for any of my other looks in the future. If I'm doing like a smoky eye or something like that, I obviously just don't have tape on, and I'm just going to be buffing it out over into the ends over here. And I'm going to use the same brush, just clean it a little bit with my MAC brush cleanser, go on with a towel. I'll show you guys all these little tips and tricks later on. And then tap a tiny bit of product into the brush itself, not a whole lot. There we go. And just set the primer itself. Super easy. Okay, now with my Delium Studio 776, I'm going to just apply a nice neutral matte brown to my crease area, and this is just going to give a more of a natural look back to the eye, a little bit more dimension. I am going to bring it up pretty far, basically to the brow bone, because we can always tweak that stuff later on, but this is just kind of returning a nice flesh tone back to the eye, since we kind of whited everything out. The reason why we did this is this eyeshadow base is going to help kind of solidify this waterproof, smudge-proof component of this look that we're really working hard to achieve. If you hear my dog, that's Bella. You're probably going to end up getting to know her really well. And then I'm just going to go into the deep crease and deepen it just a tiny, tiny bit. Nothing crazy. Just keep blending, just keep blending, just keep blending, blending, blending. What do? We blend. I do that all the time. Funny little backstory, my high school graduation party was Finding Nemo themed. Just to let you know, real mature, right? Okay, so that's it. Now I'm going to be adding a little pop of color to the inner corner of the eye using the Lit Cosmetics Neon Electric London Calling. So the difference between the regular neon pigments and the electrics is that the electrics are mixed with a little bit of mica and like a shimmer to them, so they're going to refract light more. I am going to go in with the pencil brush, dry. I already have a little bit of primer on, of course. And we are just going to be applying the product to the inner corner, pulling it down a little on the lower end and dragging it up as well. With any of your loose pigments or a loosely packed pressed eyeshadow, you want to make sure that you are kind of doing more of a dabbing pressing motion first before you really start spreading any color. This is just going to really get the product packed onto the lid or whatever area of the face that we're going to be working on, and not just swiping a whole bunch of product like all over the place. That can be a disaster, but one of the reasons why I do like to do my eyes before my complexion, so that I don't have to worry about all that like blocking with setting powder and that stuff. I just wipe off whatever I don't want. Okay, that's it. Pretty simple, nothing crazy, right? All right, now I'm going to use another Lit Cosmetics glitter. This is one of my favorites. This is Hawaii 5-0. It's a nice sky blue with some greens in there. For this, I am going to be using the Clearly Liquid Water Resistant, which I showed you already. I'm putting it into my palette now. using the same pencil brush, go directly into the glue, into the glitter. I have it there, and dab into the inner corner. That's it. Okay, so now the pièce de résistance, the fun part. We're going to be applying the actual liner itself. And let me get that mixed for you. All right, here we go. Flatliner duo brush, triple, quadruple brush. When you're getting your product on the brush itself, since we are doing like a liner detailed look, you don't want to get the now paint mixture like all over the brush. You just want to be applying it to the tip, just the tip. All right, and get any excess off. I like to start in my inner corner first. Just to kind of tell me where I'm going to go. And then work from the outside at a nice, probably 30-degree angle. Oh, my vanity light just went off. And then just connect the outer to the inner. And that is it. I hope you guys are able to see that well. I am going to, while it's still a little tacky now, dab on some of the dry pigment just to help really set what we just did. All right. Now, this next part is totally up to you. I am going to be using a liquid liner on top of this, and I'm just going to run along the lash line. Nothing too crazy, but I just really like how polished it looks once I have my lashes on. So that's why I'm going to be doing it. I have done this look without the liner before, and it does look really great. It's just totally up to you, whatever you want to do. I hope you're able to see that. I'm still working on my camera angles. I'm so sorry. All right, and now you're just gonna pull off your tape, of course. And there we go. There's a little bit of bleeding right there. Nothing too crazy. Nothing that a little makeup remover and a flat liner brush can't fix. And just clean that up. And voila! I'm gonna go ahead and move forward with the other eye off camera and lashes, and we'll show you the finished look. Alright everyone, so that is it for today's tutorial, but really fast before I do let you go, I just want to go over a couple of the things that I did to refine the look while I was off camera. Super simple. Basically all I did was grab an angled brush and pulled down and kind of blended out a little bit of matte black shadow, black shadow along my lash line, and then threw a nude eyeliner eye pencil into my waterline itself. And I do want to point out my lashes today, which I'm loving. Whenever I'm doing a graphic liner like this, I do like to use more of a lengthy, sparse lash as opposed to something that's really voluminous, because you're just gonna end up hiding all the beautiful work that you did. So for today, I ended up using some brand new lashes from a brand new indie company called The Onyx Lashes, owned and curated by my very dear friend Morgan McVeigh. She's at Lolita Diamond, I believe, on Instagram, so definitely check them out. The style that I'm wearing today is called Baby Girl, and I mean, they are long, they are touching my brows, and I am living for it. Super fierce. So yeah, that's basically it. If you took something away from today's video, please like, and if you haven't done so, subscribe. If you enjoy makeup and just overall enjoy being mystical AF and spreading some love around, again, please subscribe. That way we can all spread a little bit of love and magic that we all desperately need together. And that is it. Thank you guys so much for checking out episode 2. I can't wait to just grow and progress with all of you. And I want to remind you all once again, as always, please do not forget to stop and smell the roses. Bye now.